Howdy folks, as it's all behind the microphone again, and today I'd like to talk about efficiency, consistency, and the importance of balancing these two. In other words, how to motivate yourself to be able to pull off most amazing grinding-based achievements in old school RuneScape without burning out. Well, these could be CML records, 200 mils, 99s, anything that's based on grinding. For starters, I gotta say that I'm not an expert in psychology, motivation, or anything like that. I'm just talking here with my personal experience and introspection to these things. So I hope that at the very least you could find some fresh ideas or even new perspectives to your own grind, even though some of these things that I'm about to say you'd think you'd take for granted. But if you really think about them, they're not that obvious and not that easy to actually implement in the reality. So I hope I can be of assistance. And yeah, let's get started. So if you're gonna go for a grinding-based achievement, you're gonna have to have a actual desire for the goal that you're uh, aiming for, because the desire is the most powerful source of motivation, the most natural source of motivation that you can have. It's something that you are ought to lay your whole foundations of your goal on. So, well, you could always resort to artificial means, such as drugging yourself, but I would never recommend anything like this because, after all, you're going to spend a significant or yeah, significant time uh, of your time on a game and on a grinding based achievement. So if you can't do it naturally, why even bother? Go for it. That's just my opinion, but the bottom line is that you're gonna need some sort of desire. Otherwise, it's just not worth it. But the desire itself is still not enough because, after all, we're all humans and we have our limitations. We are weak sometimes, we have our bad days, and that's why you're going to need a support net of a sort to catch you if you feel that you're going to slip away from your goal and your daily routines. And this support net is routines, and the power of routines is often underestimated because it's often seen as some forced schedule that's just gonna make your life depressing and more boring. Well, actually, it's the opposite because it's always easy to make excuses not to go for your daily experience. And let's say if you're having a bad day, with routines, you can always say to yourself that this is just a bad day. I want to be consistent, and if I do this now, maybe tomorrow and the future, I will have better days. And routines help to stay on the right path to achieving your goal. So you're gonna have a desire as your foundation and a little support net around it, which is the routines. But these themselves are not actually enough still to achieve your goal because uh, you need to know your limitations, and this kind of takes us to very fundamental questions such as how do you know yourself? How do I know myself? Um, well, in RuneScape, the only way you can learn to know your limitations in grinding is, in my opinion, just through trial and error. You have to try how many hours can you pull per day without burning out in the long run. Find out how to avoid hand pains or any other problems like that. Um, and you basically had to find a balance between your efficiency and consistency. And it's very abstract, but I might have to explain these terms even though they're transparent. But consistency means in actually enduring your goal and being able to pull it off, and efficiency means optimizing your XP rates per hour using the right methods and actually doing your goal well. So you might disagree with me on this, but I think consistency comes before efficiency, because there's always time, and in due time you can learn to be more efficient. Um, you don't have to uh, get pressured by watching what better people than you are doing. That only gives you stress and does not take you away. It could give you some ideas how to do it in the future, but after all, it's not something to rely on. You need to start very slowly, step by step, and in due time narrow down the gap between your efficiency and consistency till you can be efficient in a skill and not burn out, as in being consistent. And that's if you analyze it in an abstract fashion. That's it. It's balancing efficiency and consistency, finding a golden middle way, balancing those two. But you're gonna also need something uh, else that's not only around your goal. You're gonna need something that will um, um, take your mind away from just the grinding, because grinding can be in the long run um, unhealthy for your mind and even for your body. So uh, it could be a hobby. You could even multitask it if you want, but as long as it takes your mind away, at least for a little amount of time, regularly, on a regular basis, that's something that you should have. Also, you're gonna need support from your friends and things like that that will motivate you. So you lay foundations on your uh, desire to get the goal, then you build a systematical routines around it. You try to settle your real life obligations and such as school and work, and your RuneScape to a healthy level. You know your limits. Don't exceed them. Don't go for a record, because otherwise you'd just be gambling with your motivation. You'd risk uh, yourself burning out. And then have some sort of hobby there to help you stay motivated. Have something to balance just the grind, and yeah, and that should take you rather far, even though this is a rather reduced summary, because there's a lot of more to the grind than just these things that I mentioned. And if you're having problems of finding that desire, um, well, grinding it's an acquired taste, you could say. You 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 can learn to like something, and you can learn new things in life, if you think it in general, by entering your uncomfort zones. You have to challenge yourself to try out new things, and eventually you might learn to like them and find out that you actually think they are very cool. And that's what happened for me in the mining, or more like the professional mining, because when I was a noob, I preferred just mining for resources, etc. Now, and I didn't really enjoy power mining that much. It was fun, but not as fun as it is now. I just challenged myself to mine power mine and be efficient at it and get better, and eventually I acquired this taste. That's a way you can find a desire for things like that. But these things that I mentioned, they are very uh, generalizations of what the grinding is. So there's a lot more in detail to it, and I guess this video did not answer them, but you can post some questions if something was left unclear here, and maybe even suggest a new video. And yeah, I might make part 2 for this, talk about something, some micro level issues, or not issues, but uh, things that are essential in grinding. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one, and see you in the next video, I guess. Bye.